Okay, so in today's class, we are going to attempt another past paper question that is from the March-June 2022 attempt. It's related to risk management, and it's question number 2 of this March-June 2022 attempt exam, that is FRONGOCH company. So again, it mentions the same thing that FRONGOCH company's details are given, that the following exhibits available on the left-hand side provide information relevant to the question. FRONGOCH hedging a payment, alternative exchange rate scenarios. Information should be used to answer the question's requirements with your chosen response options. Okay, so let's start. Exhibit number 1. It states FRONGOCH company is an American company with a centralized treasury function based in the US. Okay, so the thing is that FRONGOCH company is an American company with a centralized treasury function based in the US. So the company is based in US. However, FRONGOCH's board is currently considering whether to establish additional treasury functions in some or all of the other countries in which FRONGOCH company operates. Okay, so the scenario is FRONGOCH is an American company, centralized treasury function based in the US. You know, in risk management questions, it's very important to decide that where we are based. So it's based in the US. However, FRONGOCH's board is currently considering whether to establish additional treasury function in some or all other countries. Okay. Today's date is 1st March. Again, an important scenario. Today's date is 1st March. FRONGOCH treasury team is currently looking at having a payment of 18250,000 euros to a German supplier, which FRONGOCH is due to make on 1st August. Okay. So today's date is 1st March, and FRONGOCH's treasury team is currently looking at hedging a payment of 18250,000 euros to a German supplier, which FRONGOCH company is due to make on 1st August. Today is 1st March. You want to make a payment on 1st August. Following market data have been obtained. Exchange rates, dollar per euro. Now it seems that FRONGOCH was in the US and dollar is quoted in the numerator. Okay, so it seems direct quote, because when local currency is in numerator, it's a direct quote. Spot rate is given and 5-month forward rate is given. Okay. Today was 1st March. You need to make a payment on 1st August. So 1st March to 1st April, 1st May, 1st June, 1st July, 1st August. You have to make a payment after 5 months. Okay. So you are given a spot rate and you are given a 5 months forward rate. This is usually for the forward exchange contract. Now futures data is given. If we talk about the futures data, contract size is 125,000 euros and price is quoted at dollar per euro. Again, a direct quote. Only September futures are given. Okay. And in options, you are provided calls data as well as puts data. Contract size is 125,000 euros. Exercise price is dollar per euro. Again, a direct quote. Premium is cents per dollar. This is in cents per euro. Sorry. Call option is also given and put option is also given. And calls are given for March, June, September. Puts are given for March, June, September. And only one exercise price is given. Okay. This ends the exhibit 1. Then the second exhibit states that the Treasury team has also been asked to consider 2 scenarios for the exchange rates. Could be on 1st August. So Treasury team has also been asked to consider 2 scenarios for what the exchange rates could be on 1st August, or also the significance of basis risk in deciding how the risk should be hedged. So Treasury team has also been asked to consider 2 scenarios of what the exchange rate could be, and also the significance of basis risk in deciding how the risk should be hedged. Scenarios are as follows. Scenario 1. Exchange rate is dollar per euro. Again, dollar per euro. Spot at 1st August is given and 5 months forward is given. And futures data is given for again September. And scenario 2, exchange rate is this and future scenarios this. Okay. This ends, I think this question doesn't have much information in it, no requirements. Okay, so now we have a clear-cut information from exhibit number 1 that it's an American company. It has a centralized treasury function based in US. This is the tip that you should keep revising the question. That's centralized treasury function based in US. Board is considering establish additional treasury functions. Today's date is 1st March. FRONGOCH treasury team is currently looking at hedging a payment of 18250,000 to a German supplier on 1st August. This is after 5 months. Exchange rate is direct quote spot in 5 months forward. Futures is given. Contract size, one future data is given. Options it's given. Call and put. There are 2 alternative exchange rate scenarios. The treasury team has also been asked to consider 2 scenarios for what exchange rates could be on 1st August. Scenario 1, exchange rates and futures data is given. Scenario 2, exchange rates and futures data is given. Okay. Requirement. There is always a requirement similar in nature to exchange rate questions, specifically when it's currency rates. It's very easy. Recommend on financial grounds a hedging strategy for 18250 payments using the market data available on 1st March exhibit 1. You only need to do data from exhibit 1, this one, right? So recommend a hedging strategy for 18250 payment on 1st March, assuming options are exercised. Assume basis diminishes to 0 at contract maturity based on monthly interval. This is just a formality statement. As you've seen, that basis diminishes to 0. We always assume this. Okay. So we have to recommend on financial grounds a recommended hedging strategy. Okay. So let's start the solution, a hedging strategy for 18250 payment. Okay. If you want to solve on spreadsheet, you can solve on spreadsheet. If you want, you can use this practice platform. No need to worry. Okay, so I'm answering this question, requirement hedging strategy for 18250 payment. As you can clearly see in this requirement that there are 3 hedging strategies mentioned, so we have to perform all 3. First, let's start with the first hedging strategy, that is forward exchange contract. Okay, because to recommend a proper hedging strategy, you all know that first we need to compare all 3 and then decide. Okay, so forward exchange contract. It's a payment of how much? Okay, 18250 euros. Okay, so this is the payment of 18250 euros, and you will multiply or divide. You need to multiply it with the forward exchange rate. So what is the 5-month forward rate? Let me get back to the question again. 5-month forward rate 2 are given. It's a direct quote. You know, in direct quote, lower rate is selling, 1.1528, and higher rate is buying. So 1.1544 will be used because it's a payment. You need to buy 1.1544. Okay, so this will produce an answer. So for the forward exchange contract, we have got this answer is 18250 payment into, because it's direct quote. So in direct quotes, we only multiply. So we get the answer of 2106780. Okay. Now the second strategy we have to work around is futures. Okay. As you all know that in futures, I told you 3 steps. Okay. lock-in rate, expected receipts, payments using lock-in rate, and number of contract. Okay. Now, please remember this thing. There are 3 steps of futures that you have to pay on 1st August after 5 months. So you need a future of 5 months later, right? But the future is of 6 months. Okay, that's the problem. In usual questions, which we did practice in the class, the futures, today's 1st March, I think, or what is the date today? 1st March, yeah. And you have to pay on 1st August, 1st April, 1st May, 1st June, 1st July, 1st August after 5 months. So future is given after 6 months. You need a 5-month lock-in rate. Okay. So how will you find a 5-month lock-in rate? Like in usual questions, 3-month future was given, 6-month future was given. You used to find a lock-in rate. But here, only one future is given. In that case, to find the lock-in rate, you must use the spot rate. Okay. Because if let's suppose July future was given, and September future was given, like 4 months, 6 months, you could have easily found it. But since one future is only given, better start from spot. Okay. So for lock-in rate, you can say spot rate. We will only use the buying rate, right? Because it's a payment case, 1.1497. Okay. And the future rate, 1.1560. September, that means 6-month rate, 1.1560. 6-month rate is the September rate, right? Okay, so if you can compare both of them, you can see it's a rising trend. Okay. Zero point 0.00105. This is a rising trend in 6 months. Okay. So if you find per month rising trend, you can easily do this divided by 6. Okay. And now you can get the 5-month lock-in rate. Okay, how to get the 5-month lock-in rate? You can start from today. 1.1497 is the today's rate. Plus, it's rising by how much? D14. This is per month. You don't want to go 5 months after. 1.150575. Okay, so there's just a correction I want to make because it's not the 6-month rate. Actually, it's the 7-month rate. The reason being, it's not mentioned it's 1st September. The future is given for for only September. So I told you in the classes that whenever no date is mentioned, it's always 30th September. You remember? So spot is given and September future, that 7-month future is given. Had it been 1st September, then it would have been 6 months, right? 1st March to 1st April, 1st May, 1st June, 1st July, 1st August, 1st September. But it's 30th September, so it's 7 months. Okay. So rising trend is this in 7 months. So it comes to per month as 0.00105 divided by 7. So 5-month lock-in rate is D14 spot, and you add 5 months later. So it's 1.15045. So after this correction of lock-in rate, that the spot rate is 1.1497, 7-month rate is 1.156. Okay, so the trend is rising. By how much? I think it's T12, T11 minus T10. This is the rising trend. So per month is 0.0063 divided by 7. And for 5-month lock-in rate, you take the today's rate. You need to take it 5 months forward. So D14 per month rising trend into 5 months, it's 1.1542. Okay. Then you to get expected step 2, expected receipts or payments. It's a payments case using lock-in rate. So expected payments using lock-in rate is, what is the payment? It's euro 18250,000. Divide or multiply, it will get multiplied by the lock-in rate 1.1542. So let's do this 18250,000 into 1.1542. Okay. And finally, the third step is number of contracts. So number of contracts would be very easy here. So 125,000 euros payment, and the contract, sorry, 18250,000 euros payment. No need to convert it into currency because it's euros, and contract size is also in euros. You get 146 contracts. This is futures, right? So we have done the forward exchange contracts and we have done futures. So we have done forward exchange contract in recommending hedging strategy. We have done this futures thing. Lock-in rate spot was given because no 3 months, 6 months was given spot, and 7-month it was 30th September. So we formed a rising trend, then per month, then lock-in rate, then expected payments using this lock-in rate, and the number of contracts. And then last, which we will move towards, is options. Now in options, I have taught you a formula in case of payments. That it's expected receipts or payments in local currency plus unhedged receipts or payment. It's a payments case. Plus premium payable. Okay, this was the formula. Okay, now unhedged won't come here because as I told you many times in the classes, unhedged only comes. When does unhedged comes? Unhedged only comes when the contracts is in decimals, right? Unless the contract size is in decimals, contracts are in decimals, it's 146 whole number. So unhedged won't come. Even if you want to do the calculation, you can check, it will be 0. So unhedged only comes when there is decimals, no unhedged. You just have to find the expected payments and premium payable. So expected payments will be what is the payment in foreign currency? It's 18250 euros, multiply, not divide because it's a direct quote. by the exercise price. What is the exercise price here of options? 1.1540. Okay, so this gives an answer. 18250,000 to 1.1540. We take in options, the options exercise price. It gets converted into local currency. Okay, you can divide it as well. If it's an indirect quote, you can multiply it as well. Unhedged is not there. Last is premium payable. Okay, now for premium payable, pay attention. You have to make payment of 18250 euros. So you will go to money changer and try to buy euros. In payment of 18250 euros, you will try to buy euros. When you buy euros, the contract size is also in euros. You need to buy euros. You will take a call option. Remember, in many of my questions, the contract size was in other currency than payment. So if you have to pay 18250 euros, you have to buy euros. If the contract size had been given in dollars, so buying euros means you have to sell dollars. If the contract size was in dollars, you would be selling dollars. You need to take a put option. But here, since you need to pay 18250 euros and the contract size is also in euros, you need to buy euros for payment. You will take a call option. And for call option, March, June, September premiums are given. Since its payment is in August, you will take the very next one as I taught you in classes. September futures, September options would be taken. It's in cents. Okay, so you will simply apply the premium payable formula. That is number of contracts into contract size into premium payable. It's 0.69, so it's in cents, 0.0069. Okay, so if I do this working here, 146 into 125,000 into 0.0069, this makes it 129.925. And you all know that premium, the formula of payments is expected payments in local currency plus unhedged, which is not there, plus premium payable. So the net cost would be the sum of both. So you've got the answer for futures. You have got the answer for forward exchange contract. You have got the answer for options. Now, which is the best one? Since in my opinion, in payments, we select the one offering lowest cost. In receipts, we select the one offering highest, but in payments, we select the one offering lowest. So the lowest, I think, here is futures. So we will select futures. You just need to write the statement in small paragraph, as I taught you, that on the basis of forward exchange contract, we are getting this answer. On the basis of futures, we are getting this answer. And on the basis of options, you are getting this answer. So based on this, we will prefer futures. Don't just keep on your mind that you have to write very long answers. You can even go and read the examiner's answer here. He just performed all the calculations and just wrote at the end one line. I didn't suggest you to write one line. You can write a small paragraph, but he just wrote one line that on the basis of these calculations, futures would be preferred. But I taught you to write a small paragraph. Please follow that. Okay. So this ends the part A. You can copy, and if you have any questions, you can ask, then we will resume. Okay, now once we completed this requirement of part A, that recommend on financial grounds, which is the hedging strategy, you have the solution in front of you as well. Now it's a 6-mark requirement part B. We should complete the remaining parts. Evaluate the impact on the results of using the 3 hedging instruments being considered if the rates and future prices are as per scenarios 1 and 2 on 1st August. So impact on the results of using the 3 hedging instruments, that you need to tell what would be the impact on results of 3 hedging methods if rates and prices are as per scenarios 1 and 2. So we need to look forward to scenarios 1 and 2, and then we need to tell what would be the impact on results of 3 hedging instruments. Because obviously in scenarios 1 and 2, we will read first, and then we need to tell the impact on results of using the 3 hedging instruments. Okay. So the requirement is initially that scenarios 1 and 2. The Treasury team has been asked to consider 2 scenarios for what the exchange rates could be on 1st August, and also the significance of basis risk in deciding how the risk should be hedged. The scenarios are: scenario 1 states that exchange rates spot on 1st August is 1.1519 and 1.1534. It's again a direct quote, and 5-month forward is this. Now it's not 1st March, it's 1st August. Okay. Futures rate on 1st August is 1.1552 for September future, that's 30th September. Okay. Now it's not 1st March, it's 1st August, right? And scenario 2, exchange rates quoted maybe 1.1532, 1.1549, 5-month forward would be this, and the September futures are also given. Okay. So this is just the information in paragraph number 2, exhibit number 2, that on 1st August, the spot rates, 5-month forward rates and futures would be like this in scenario 1 and scenario 2. And it asks you to evaluate the impact on results of using the 3 hedging instruments being considered if the rates and future prices are as per scenarios 1 and 2. Okay, now it's just that there are 2 scenarios in which exchange rates of spot, forward, and futures are now different from the one we did previously in part A. And the requirement is evaluate the impact on results of the hedging instruments being considered if the rates and future prices are as per scenarios 1 and 2. Now, if the rates and prices become as per scenario 2 and scenario 1, what would be the impact on results of hedging? So let's firstly consider scenario 1. Let's firstly consider scenario 1. Okay, now remember your forward exchange contract and spot rates for this in exhibit 1 on 1st March. Okay. Now on 1st August, the spot rate and forward rate became this. Okay. These rate changes won't have any effect on forward exchange contract because rates are already locked. Okay. You can say that this is the exhibit number 2. The rates have changed. The 5-month forward rate is this. So some people might argue that in forward exchange contract, we should use this 5-month forward rate. No, the catch is that today is now 1st August, right? And if on 1st August, you take a 5-month forward contract, this will take it to 1st September, 1st October, 1st November, 1st December, 1st January. Whereas in the previous case, today was 1st March, we had to pay on 1st August. So from 1st March, if you count the forward exchange contract, this makes it 5 months. Okay. So this scenario would be irrelevant. Scenario one, forward exchange contract, no matter what the forward rates are, 5-month forward rate, they will make it till January. The results of forward exchange contract won't change because forward exchange contract is a legally binding contract. Okay. And once you have entered into that contract for 5 months, no matter what the forward rates are later, it won't have any effect on forward exchange contract results because rates are already locked. Okay. But they may have an effect on futures because you're in scenario two. Spot rate was 1.1534. This is for 1st August. Okay. So for spot 1.1534 and September future rate 30th September. This is now 1.1552. So spot is today, not 1st March, now 1st August, because we're considering scenario one. It's again showing a rising trend. Now, since you can see that the rate was 1.1534. Okay. Okay, so you said that the rate was 1.1534 on 1st August. Okay. Previously, the future rate was 1.1560. Okay. But now it has gone to 1.1552. So we took initially 1.156. Now it became 1.1552. So if you just take the impact of the old rate out, 1.156, and it was 1.156, right? Yes. And take the impact of the new rate, that is 1.1552. You are going to get a new rate as 1.1534. 1.1542. And if a new rate is 1.1542, that means the effect on futures would be that 18250,000 is the receipt, sorry, payment, and it was a direct quote, so 1.1542 we used to multiply, and the answer comes the same as previous one. So I think scenario one, rate changes don't have any effect on futures also. Okay. So they won't have any effect on forward exchange contract, because on forward exchange contract, you are given spot rate of 1st August. And then you are given a rate of 5-month forward. This will take it to January. So those are irrelevant in forward exchange contract. Once the rate is locked, we lock it. So it won't have any impact on forwards. In futures, you took the 1.15521 compared to 1.156. So definitely the answer is changing. So it has an effect on futures, but here the answer is not changing. Therefore, no impact on futures. Okay, now let's talk about scenario two. Okay, now what is the scenario two? Scenario two is that exchange rates are now 1.15232 and 1.1549 spot and 5-month forward. So the rates are not 1st August. So 5-month forward rate again makes it to 1st January, which is relevant for us. In forward exchange contract, the 1st March was the date today, and we had 5-month forward rate. We locked the rates. So in scenario two, even though the rate are changing, we can again say that these rate changes won't have any effect on forward exchange contract because rates are already locked. Even in scenario two, because the date is 1st August and 5-month makes it to 1st January, we need the rates of forward for 1st August. This is not practically possible. They may have an effect on futures. Now spot is 1.1549 now. Okay. And the September future is now 1.1563. So it's again showing a trend of, I think, rising 14 basis points. But how this impacts the working? Now, 1.1549 is the spot rate. Initially, we committed to 1.156, but now it has gone to 1.1563. Okay, so if you take this impact, 1.549 was the spot rate. You initially took 1.156, and now it became to 1.1563. Okay. Check again the calculation, 1.1549. You blocked it at 1.156 and then 1.1563. So it's 1.1546 now. Just removing the impact of what we previously did and adding the new impact. Now this is going to be 1825000, 1.1546. So 21071450. Scenario two rate changes do have an effect on futures. Previously, the answer was the same compared to requirement one, but now the answer is changing. You can cross-check that the futures answer previously was 21064,150. In scenario one, it came the same. So scenario one doesn't have any effect on futures, but here it got change. Okay, you can note it down. Okay, now if we go to requirement C, explain what is meant by basis risk and discuss the impact of basis risk on the hedging decision being considered in part A and B. It's a 4 marks requirement. You can explain what basis risk is and just discuss the impact of basis risk on the decisions. Okay. Now, if you have taken lectures from me, you know that in currency risk management, we taught that basis and basis risk is basically what? Basis is the difference between the spot rate and the future rate, right? So basically, basis was the relation between spot rate and futures rate. Okay. Now, if you do a forward exchange contract, I'm just talking about forward exchange contract now. You know, today's rate is, let's suppose, 200 to a dollar. When you will go and try to fix a rate for forward exchange contract, you won't get 200 because that's the today's rate. You're fixing a rate for a future transaction. The rate may be higher. That difference is basis. Similarly, in futures, spot rate is, let's suppose, 100 and you are getting futures at 95 or 96. This difference, obviously, when you will try to lock a rate for the future, the broker will charge you extra. That's basis. But basis risk is that we find basis, the future rate, through a linear relation, that if it's a rising trend in 3 months, so per month would be the same. And if it's a decreasing trend, the per month would be the same. And we try to maintain a linear relation and predict the future rate. There is a risk that that linear relation may not exist in reality. This is basis risk. So basis and basis risk are two different things. Basis is simply the difference between spot rate and the futures rate, because no one is going to fix a rate for the future at today's rate. It will be different. That's basis. And basis risk is the risk that the relation you predict, rising or falling trend, a linear relation, that may not happen in the future. That is basis risk. Now, impact of basis risk on hedging decision. This basically was the basis. That spot and futures rate were different. This was the basis. Okay. So we found a linear relation that it's a rising trend of 0.0063 in 7 months. So per month, it will rise by 0.0009, which will not happen maybe in reality. But we assume that this is basis risk, that relation may not be linear. Obviously, it changes. The answers may be different. Like this difference of 0.0063 and 0.0009 was different in scenario 2. Okay. So in scenario 2, it was different. In scenario 1, you can see it was again 0.0018. That means you divide it by 2, you get the same 0.0009. If you divide it by 2, you get same 0.0009 per month. And in example 1, it was also 0.0009 per month. That means the risk was same in requirement A and requirement scenario 1. That's why there was no difference in futures. Okay, the answer was same because the basis was same. But in scenario 2, it was not 0.0009. It was 0.0014 in 2 months. So per month, it's 0.007. So since basis was different, commission was different, you saw that the answer got different. So you can just define what basis and basis risk is and state them that the basis risk is that relation may not be linear. How it impacted the results, since in scenario 1, the basis risk, the difference the broker charges was the same per month as requirement A, therefore futures answer remains same. But when it got different, the futures answer also got changed. And part D, explain the reasons why local treasury functions may be established in countries where FRONGOCH operates. It's all about centralization and decentralization. If you have a centralized treasury function, all decisions are taken by head office, right? So you are in different countries, you give all information to head office and all cash to head office, then they decide. So they may not know about the local conditions too well as the local branches. So if you're operating in multiple countries, the best thing is that you establish local functions in every country. Decentralization. This makes decision making faster. Advantage number one, reason number one, decision making faster. Now all countries divisions will take their own decisions without consulting with head office. So fast decision. Firstly, all decision went to head office, approval, blah blah blah. So faster decision making. Okay. Second, local functions may know local conditions and regulations and laws better. Okay, so they may be able to take better decisions. Number one, fast decision. Number two, better decisions. Okay. Number three, the funding requirements would be easier. First, they had to ask from centralized office. Now they have their own funds, so they can use their funding in a better manner. Okay. Fourth, good customer service. Okay. If all your functions are at head office, if a customer comes or supplier comes or anyone comes and asks you any question, okay, we will contact their office and let you know. Now it's customer and your connection in real time. So customer service would improve. And every division, every country will have its own cash, so it can invest better compared to all decisions taken at head office. Okay, so this is what you can. Okay, so hopefully this was a complete picture of the solution and the question which we discussed. There were again 2 theoretical parts, and then we discussed some calculation parts. Okay, so we're ending this past paper class for today. Thank you.